Hi everyone, it's Tarrant.
And Stella from Meeple University.
Today we'll be teaching you how to play Flamecraft, game designed by Manny Vega and published by Cardboard Alchemy.
Let's get to the game.
In Flamecraft, players are merchants in the town where dragons and people work together in all the various shops. You'll move about, gaining resources, putting dragons to work, expanding the town, and enchanting the stores, all in the aim of gaining the most reputation. Whoever can score the most points before the dragons or enchantments have run out will win the game. To set up, lay out the town board on the table. Find the 6 starting shop cards, they have a lighter coloured back than the others, and lay them out into the town's shop slots. It doesn't matter which slots you use, they all function the same. You can also lay the shops facing inwards instead of outwards. Now find the 6 starting artisan dragons. Once again, these are the ones with the lighter coloured backs. These are the dragons who will be going to work in the shops. For each starting shop, find the starting dragon whose icon in the top left corner matches, and then place it on the bottom left space of the shop. Now set up the middle of the town board. To the side you'll place supplies of all of the goods, and these are the 6 different icons that we saw on the starter shops. These are called goods, and this is what you'll be gaining and spending to do most of your actions. Here you'll place the rest of the artisan dragons. If you're playing with 4 or more players, you'll use the whole deck. If you're playing with 3 players, you'll remove 1 dragon representing each of the 6 different goods from the game. And although these cards all have different art, the cards are functionally the same, so it doesn't matter which cards you remove. If you're playing with 2 players, you'll remove 12 cards in this way. Then deal 5 artisan dragon cards face up into this area known as the park. Anytime a player gains one of these dragons, they can take one of the 5 face-up cards or draw blindly from the top of the deck. In the fountain, place the supply of coins. Coins do not count as goods, but they may be spent as wild for any purpose during the game, unless otherwise stated. On this space, you'll shuffle up and place the fancy dragons. These cards have different objectives on them, which you can try to meet through the game to earn extra reputation points. On the right-hand side of the board, shuffle up and place one of the game's 2 enchantment decks, either the purple or the gold. Doesn't matter which you use, but you can't mingle the 2 decks. Then deal 5 cards face up from the deck into the display. These contain different combinations of goods which players will be trying to collect and then spend for reputation points. Each player chooses a colour and places its reputation marker at the start of the scoring track. Then set up the shop deck for the game. From all of those available, randomly choose 1 card with each of the 6 different goods icons in its top left corner. Then take all the shop cards with a different icon in the top corner, shuffle them up, then add 4 at random. Then shuffle up this entire deck of 10 and place it face down near the board. These shops will randomly enter the game during play, and this whole step should be done face down. Each player now gets their starting components: the mini in player colour, a help card in player colour, 3 artisan dragons which are all kept, and 2 fancy dragons which are looked at, 1 is kept and the other is returned to the bottom of the deck. As an optional module, you can also deal each player 1 companion card, and this will give them their own unique ability which they can take during the game. In some cases, the companion alters setup. Choose a first player. If you're playing with 4 or more players, then the 4th and 5th players get 1 extra goods token of their choice. You're now ready to play. Flamecraft is played in turns, starting from the first player and going clockwise around the table. Every turn begins by visiting a new shop. On your first turn, you'll place your dragon onto any shop on the board, and on each subsequent turn you must move from your current shop to a different one. If there are any other players already at the shop you choose to visit, then you must pay all of those players 1 goods token, or a coin. If you can't afford to pay, you must choose somewhere else to move. Having made your choice, you must now either gather from the shop or enchant the shop. And note that to help with the explanation here, I've got one shop as it might look at the start of the game and another as it might look later on. First, we'll look at a gather turn. The first step of gathering is to gain resources, and you'll gain any of the goods, coins or other bonuses shown in the top left corners of the shop, any enchantment cards tucked under the shop, and any artisan dragon cards on the shop. This dragon would only be gathering 2 metal, while this dragon would be gathering 4 leaves, a potion and a meat. Some shops allow for the gaining of wild resources, coins, or artisan dragons from the park. The second step is to place an artisan dragon, and you may place an artisan dragon from your hand onto an empty slot of the shop you're in. This player would not be able to place an artisan dragon because the shop is full, but this one could. To play a dragon, the icon in its top left corner must match one of the greyed out icons on the space. So this space here could only accept the metal or potion, but not the bread. This one could only accept a potion. Then gain the coloured reward that you cover. So here it would be to draw a fancy dragon card. Here it would be a coin. And there are other shops that will give you reputation or artisan dragons. You may only place one artisan dragon in this phase. If your placement fills up the shop, draw a new card from the shop deck and place it face down for now into any one of the open shop slots. There are more cards in this deck than will fit in all of the open slots. And the town may contain a maximum of 12 shops in a 1 or 2 player game, or 14 shops in a 3 to 5 player game. If all slots are full, skip this step and don't add any more shops. The third step of gathering is to fire up any one dragon in your shop. That is to resolve its fire up effect shown in text at the bottom of the card. Each dragon of the same colour has the same fire up effect. The dark blue dragon will let you gain 2 more of one of the goods that you would have gathered in the first phase of the turn. The light blue dragon lets you gain 3 different goods. With the yellow dragon, you can draw 1 artisan dragon card into hand. The green dragon lets you give another goods token or coin to another player to gain 2 points. The red dragon lets you place an artisan dragon in town. That is, take any artisan dragon from your hand and play it into any shop around the town following the usual rules. That means you must match the icon on the shop and you gain the reward that you cover. And finally, the purple dragon lets you swap that dragon with any other dragon anywhere on the board and resolve the fired up effect of the one you moved to your shop. When you swap, you do not have to match the goods icon on either slot, nor do you gain the coloured reward on either slot. The final step of gathering is to resolve the shop ability, which is printed in text on the black bar at the bottom of the shop. The starter shops don't have these, but all of the ones that will be added to the game do have a shop ability. So as you can see, you'll be able to combo a lot of benefits together if you gather at a particularly profitable shop. Once again, the steps of gathering, which must be resolved in this order, are that you must gain the goods and resources shown in the shop. Then you may place an artisan dragon in the shop and gain the reward you cover. Then you may use the fired up ability of a dragon already in that shop. And finally, you may use the shop card's ability if it has one. Your other option after visiting a shop is to enchant it. To do this, you must be visiting a shop which does not already have 3 enchantment cards tucked behind it, and which has an enchantment card in the display whose icon matches the icon on the shop, and which you have the resources or coins to afford. You then pay those resources or coins, and then gain the reputation points and any other bonuses as shown on the card. Now take the enchantment from the display and tuck it behind the shop, making it more valuable for future gathering. Shops with the wild resource icon match with any enchantment. while shops with the coin or dragon icon match with none and cannot be enchanted. The simplest enchantments simply score for meeting a contract, while ones like this let you score more points based on how many sets of the shown resources you spend. Here, for example, 2 metal and 2 potions would be worth 2 points, while 4 and 4 would be worth 8. Coins may be substituted for any part of the cost unless the enchantment has this icon. The second step of an enchantment turn is that you may fire up any or all dragons in that shop in whichever order you wish. And this even includes firing up dragons that you place in that shop as part of other dragon fire up abilities. So, in summary, if you choose to enchant, first you must play an enchantment on that shop by paying the resources and tucking it behind the card, and then you may optionally fire up any number of artisan dragons in that shop. Once you've either gathered or enchanted, you move to the end of turn phase, where you'll reset for the next player's turn. You have a maximum hand limit of 6 artisan dragons and 7 of each type of goods, and so if you exceed either at this point, you must return goods until you're down to 7, and you must return artisan dragons to the bottom of the deck until you're down to 6. Then, if there are any empty slots in the enchantment market, refill them. Any empty slots in the park, refill them. And any face-down shops that were placed during your turn, flip them face up now. Play now passes to the next player clockwise. Through the game, you'll be drawing fancy dragon cards, and you can hold as many fancy dragon cards as you'd like. These all give you different ways of scoring reputation points, and there are 2 types of cards: Sun cards and Moon cards. Sun cards are scored during the game. At any point during your turn, you may flip one of these cards face up if you meet the objectives shown at the bottom, and then score its points. It remains face up in your collection, but you won't score it again. For any Moon fancy dragons, you need to keep those secret in your hand. You'll have the opportunity to score these only at the end of the game. The end of the game can be triggered in one of 2 ways. Either when the last card is drawn from the Artisan Dragon deck, or when the last card is drawn from the Enchantment deck. Each player now takes 1 final turn, including the player whose turn triggered the end of the game. Players now return any coins they still have in their collection to the fountain and gain 1 point per coin, and then reveal any Moon-type fancy dragons from their hand whose conditions they meet. And the order of this is important. You won't have your coins available to help with your Moon fancy dragons. The player with the highest reputation wins. If tied, whoever has the most artisan dragons remaining in hand breaks the tie. If still tied, most leftover goods, and if still tied, victory is shared.
And that's how to play Flamecraft. We hope that you enjoyed the video.
We have been showing you the deluxe version of the game with the upgraded components.
If you find this video useful, please help us by hitting that like button. Subscribe to us. You can also hit the Meeple in the corner to do so, and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we have new videos. You can also follow me on Instagram for my board games journey.
Comments, suggestions and feedback are all welcome in the comment section below.
Thanks for watching and see you next time.